Okay, looks like we're live. Hopefully somebody can speak in the chat. And I'm going to go and update all of the social media things. And I have published, or I'm about to publish, the top 10. The contest is closed. And I will put all that up on a geek list. So I'll put a link to the geek list here in a second. It's got all our top 10s. We'll go ahead and discuss them. And there's also some honorable mention kind of things there. So that is going to happen. And Lance is a little bit late, so that's okay. He's got some things that we're going to run into us. So, yep. So if anybody can comment. Let's see. Victor from Sweden is there. So we see him. That's weird. See people in the chat. So I will post there. Let's see. Does that work? Let me do that. I can't post it. You'll see I will post links to the geek list, as I mentioned earlier, on Twitter and all kinds of good stuff like that. And so people can look at that too. Give the aborted start here. Trying to get this stuff to work. There we go. Anybody else hear me? Yep, there we go. Up to European folks, looks like. That's a good thing. So we can, if you check my Twitter or check Facebook or check Google Mail or subscribe to any of the stuff on Board Game Geek, the geek list should be up. Unfortunately, I can't post it in the chat here. What I can do is I can update the description. I can do that. Let me do that real quick, and I'll let you know that it's done. There we go. So if you refresh and come back, then the top 10 geek list on BG is the bottom link in the video description there. And then I'll just, I'll get going here in a second. Let people catch up to the 30-second delay, and then I will just start yammering about at least my runners up while we wait for Lance to come in. And he should probably be here in less than 10 minutes, so we'll see. But hopefully that works. It looks like I can be seen as well. Like I said, I apologize for the aborted start. And it looks like I posted it all. There's too many social media things. I found when sometimes you post something and it'll like carry it over to like all the other different media. It doesn't really work and stuff. So I just post it individually. Okay, so people should be caught up, and I will start into my runners up. Everybody can go look at the list, spoil it if they like, and then post comments and thumb the geek list if you please. That's fine. I'll first just go through my runners up. So first one is Space Cadets. Resistance is mostly futile. That's an expansion for the original Space Cadets, which I absolutely love that game. And I'm a big fan of Dice Duel too. So that was just kind of my runners up because honestly, that one I didn't do a whole lot of research on, but I'm like Space Cadets, check mark on that. So the next one I have as a runner up is, I'm not sure how you pronounce this. It's Zonguo. It's from What's Your Game, and they've done Madeira, they did Vasco da Gama, they did Asgard's Chosen, which I haven't played, and they did Vinos, which I played. And this kind of looks like that same sort of heavy, crunchy Euro, but it's very card-driven, and you've got choices like playing cards like for yourself or for like on the board, and you kind of, it's almost like the same theme as in the Year of the Dragon, but obviously the gameplay is going to be very different. So I'm very excited for that. I love the artwork on the boards and everything component-wise with those games. So anyway, and so I'm just going to check the chat. Okay, there we go. People talking and stuff. Good. So I'm glad people are here. I will continue with my runners up, and then if that run out of time and Lance still hasn't shut up, I will give you some data on the how people voted and things. So it was kind of interesting when I was parsing the data to figure out, who won, which there is a winner. We had a three-way tie for first place, but it was suspicious because they were all back to back and they all had the exact same votes. But I don't know. I was like kind of worried because I was like, that seems weird, you know, like they're all the same votes and they were posted one after the other. And so I was getting kind of worried. But we had a tiebreaker. That's what the runners ups were going to be. Is if there was a tie, then if you pick one of the runners up, you would just get a point after the tie. So they wouldn't count normally, but if you tied, then they would count. But somebody came in right at the last minute today, probably just a couple hours ago, and voted. And they had, I don't know what the possible points were, but it was, if you picked the number one of our number ones, you'd get 10 points. And the one of our number twos, you'd get 9, 8, 7, 6, all the way down to 1 point if you picked one of our number 10. So this person had 22 points. They picked my number 1 and Lance's number 3, and then like my number 7 and Lance's number 10 and another one or something. So that got them a lot of points. So anyway, I'll keep going with this. The next one as my runner-up was the Bruges expansion. It's called the City on the Zwin. And I really liked Bruges. I really did like the game, but it was like really random sometimes. And you could get into situations where you really needed a blue card or something and you just couldn't get it, and you really kind of built yourself into a little bit of a hole. Oh, Lance just texted me here. He's on his way. He should be coming. And so anyway, I liked it, but the randoms really burned out. And I really liked the mechanics, everything. It was great. But it looks like there's a lot more randomization mitigation in the expansion. So I'm definitely in for that. And the next one was Deus, or Deuce, I think it's Deus, which is a kind of a Eurofied civilization game from the designer of Trois, which I didn't really like, but I did like Tournai. And it has some weird kind of co-opetition kind of things happening with the card play and stuff. And I'm a sucker for Civilization. Is if you scroll down the geek list, you can see what my number 1 is. I'm not going to say it yet because maybe people don't want to be spoiled. So I won't spoil it. But if you go dig around on social media or something, you can see it. But I'm a sucker for Civilization. I probably hinted it to oblivion now. But so this one looked really cool. Next one as a runner-up was Empire Engine, which is like a Rondel micro game coming out from AEG. So I was like sold, you know, because I'm not like a giant Rondel fan, but I do like them, and I really enjoyed. Well, Concordia is not a Rondel, but it's kind of Rondel with cards, and I really like Navigador, and like I like the Rondel, but I don't really like Imperial for some reason, and so I like not in love with the mechanic just for the mechanic. I know there's several folks that are, but I really like Navigador. And there's another one I played. I'm brain farting, but Navigador and Concordia are my favorite Mac Gertz games, and this looks like a Rondel, but a micro game kind of thing. So that's Empire Engine. The next one was Planes, and that looks like a really cool game. I really like the art, and I like the idea of like, you know, shuttling passengers around, trying to get to the plane on time. And it's a micro game, and AEG usually like does a pretty good job with the micro game, whole aspect. They seem to be kind of the king of that. And honestly, it's just the theme with that one that I'm really into. And the designer too, David Short. You know, he did Cypher, which I liked, and he did a couple other games which I kind of liked. Oh, and Bomb Squad. That was the one I'm thinking of. That game is awesome. You know, I did a Kickstarter preview for that, and I was kind of frankly holding back a little bit on how much I liked it because it was kind of a preview, not really a review. So yeah, Bomb Squad's amazing. And so anyway, I'll wrap this up. Alchemist was the next one, and it's really solely for the app. You know, I'm probably a little bit less excited about Alchemist than, you know, like XCOM and the other one where you like sail it as a ship with your phone. You can take your phone, it's like a little Navy ship. That one looks really crazy. But this one looks cool. You can like take a picture of the alchemy cards, and it'll mix the ingredients, all kinds of crazy stuff. So there's that. And then Mythotopia, which is kind of, that would be like my number 11. That one was really kind of knocking on the door, but like I pre-ordered that one anyway. So it's like, I know a lot about it. It's A Few Acres of Snow, multiplayer. It's got some variable setup stuff. Basically, like if you're not familiar, you capture a location and you get a card for that location in your deck, and you can kind of exploit that location and use it up and play it in your deck. And that kind of the idea, the deck building works perfect thematically because you use that location and its resources, it goes back into your discard pile, so you can't, you know, plummet again for resources. Anyway, so that one was right on the cusp there. But I've already kind of like, I pre-ordered that one. I was kind of like, yeah, I already know I want it. So it's not really like I'm not really looking for more information about it. And probably a little bit in the back of my mind, I feel slightly burned by a few acres of snow, but actually we'll still play that once in a while. But I know people say it was, well, it is kind of broken. So anyway, there's that. So that are the runners up. I was going to check chat real quick. And I'll just, yep. Yeah, no bots. Yeah, Jason, I didn't, Deus, or Theseus was a weird one. Like, we had a hard time getting that played. It's one of those, I don't think it's a bad game. It's just like, I haven't played it enough, or I didn't really give it enough time, and it was just kind of fell flat. So, yep. And so some people know what my number one is already. And so, okay, here's the cool thing. I went through all the data, and the game that was most picked by people that wasn't on my main list was Deus. A lot of people picked Deus for me and Lance. And the game that was most picked that was on my list was Kanban. So if you haven't spoiled it for yourself, I won't tell you where it is on the list. But a lot of people picked Kanban. That was probably by far the most picked for me. I didn't count them. And then the other one was La Isla with Mr. Feld's game. That's also on my list. And then the number one for Lance that people picked was Omega Centauri, which frankly I don't know anything about. A couple of his I'm not super familiar with. And Victor asked for no Aquasphere. And I said, well, that was kind of like going into, here's a funny story, is going into Essen when Richard and Lance and I were trying to make our top 10, we come to the agreement after I'd made my original top 10 that we had to have games that were on the list. And at that time, Aquasphere wasn't really on the Gen Con Geek list or something, so I took it off the list. And, yeah, I could have probably had it on this list, but like I got a demo of it at Gen Con, and I backed it on Kickstarter actually. And so it's kind of, yes, I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, that's kind of a wishy-washy answer why it's not on this list. Okay. So if you should have any questions, shoot them out. Lance should be here like any second, so I apologize. We can look at Lance's runners-ups. I feel bad doing this without him, but we'll probably won't have time to do them anyway. El Gaucho, I've looked at it, and this is a, what is it, Argentum Verlag game. They put out, a couple games. Their games are weird. They're like the strict standard Euro, you think Euro, modern Euro. They do these games. What was the one game? It was like Coney Island. That was a weird game. I didn't really like it. It was good, though. It was like one of the, this is good, but I don't really like it. And another one that I didn't play, it came out last year. They all kind of have the same look and feel. So I can see it's something if somebody threw it in front of me, I'd totally play it. Next one, Lance's runners up is Versailles, which is from NSKN, which is a Polish company, I think, or something. There's a Polish address on their boxes. And they did Prayer Tour, and they also did Warriors and Traders or something, and a couple other games. So this one looks pretty cool too. Looks very Euro, almost abstract. Clinique, I haven't looked at this one. I know Richard did a review of it, and I haven't really looked at it yet. So he seemed to get a lot of good feedback about it, and he seemed pretty excited about it from what I understand. So that's one I haven't had a chance to research yet. The next one at Lance's is Historia, and probably this could be in mine, but I backed it on Kickstarter, so I don't really. That's a weird thing. Like, you back it on Kickstarter, and it's like, yes, it's kind of coming out at Essen. I'm not even for sure that this is going to be for sale at Essen. But I think of it more of as a Kickstarter game than an Essen game, which is a weird thing. But I'm really looking forward to Historia. It looks, like I said, a sucker for civilization themes. And this one looks like an interesting, little matrix that you can use for technology. And the combat looks a little bit dry, but I think that should be okay. We'll see. And anyway, so if you haven't seen, Richard did a really good run through of that. That's what made me back the Kickstarter project. Actually, was I'd seen it and it looked kind of dry and sterile from the board. Richard did a run through, and and I got enough out of that that I backed it. So, and then the last one of the runners ups for Lance was Redacted, which I've actually had a chance to play. I played it on Vassal with I believe the designer and the publisher and stuff. And it's fun. It's really cool. It's kind of like a Battlestar Galactica style game because it's hidden roles and it's deduction, but it's teams. So you have sort of a a Cylon and a human thing, and a good guy and a bad guy. And so you're figuring out what your goal is based on what team you're in and who's doing what. And there's a little bit of sort of spatial sort of action point management where you're moving a guy from one room in this building to the other to try to block guys out, trap them, maybe attack them, and then get some like secret information and then get up to the helicopter. So it's got this kind of cool spatial action point movement allowance kind of thing happening. And then with this deduction, so what you're doing, where you're moving and what you're doing is kind of giving clues and stuff, and trying to to piece that out. And there's some scenarios and things and some other things that kind of throw into the mix after you've played it a couple times. So it's cool. It's interesting. I don't remember if this was on Kickstarter already or not. I think it was. Oh, Richard did a review of it, I guess. Yeah, watch Richard. Well, that's interesting. I don't know how you would play it with 2 players. Okay. There you go. I don't know how you play that game with less than 3. Let's see, checking chat. HT is making a comeback. Yes, it is. Hansa Teutonica is. I still have it. I almost got rid of it. We've played that thing to death. Let me tell you that. And almost to the point where it's like really, it feels scripted. It may not actually be scripted, but it really was feeling scripted. And I missed out on the expansion map. And I played it a few times with the expansion map, but I don't own it. And so that really adds some stuff to it. And I guess they're reprinting that map, and they're reprinting a new map for Britannia. So I said, oh, well, let's keep it in here because it's such a weird game. I really like it though. So yes. And let's see. Okay. Dice Brewing for Lance. Yeah, that one I don't know much about. The Terra Mystica expansion I didn't add because I probably would get it if I wanted to, but we don't get that one to the table enough for me to really be that interested in the expansion. I've probably played it maybe twice in the last year. Yeah, maybe one of those was in the last. So yeah, so it just hasn't been getting played. It's totally in my collection still, but that's the only reason. Yeah. Yeah, some people are throwing out like Nations Dice. That looks cool. I didn't really like Nations, but I totally would take a look at that. And then Orleans looks good too. But we were talking about this somewhere the other day with somebody, and we were talking about how many games are coming out because because the list in the voting, I pulled out stuff that was released at Gen Con. So like Panamax wasn't in the list. Five Tribes wasn't in the list, even though for a lot of the European folks, they're basically released at Essen as far as they're concerned. Even with that, there was 400 new games, and there were dupes and stuff in Eric's list because, for example, the Terra Mystica expansion, there was like the French version and the English version. Even with that, there's 400 new games, and that includes expansions. That's so many. I mean, that's crazy. Even you have more than one game for every day of the year, and I don't know, man. It's just that's so many. I don't even know. But yeah, so there's tons on here that I'm like, oh, that looks good too. Oh, that looks pretty good. But then you just kind of have to force yourself to weed it down. So where's Lance? What time is it? It's 10 to 6 my time. Okie dokie. Let's just check the other chats. I don't want to start into the top 10 because that'll just be spoiling it for Lance. So, well, it's too bad these things happen. Did I shut down the contest? Yes. Okay. Good. Yeah, Jason. I didn't count Arcadia Quest as an Essen release. Lance includes it. It was at Gen Con, but it wasn't for sale, and it's kind of trickling out now. So I think it's going to be for sale at Essen. So it looks cool. I want to check it out for sure. I was asking around with some other folks if there was any way to get in on the, sometimes they offer Kickstarter backers. You can get extra add-ons and have other people come in and get in on it. I tried to find somebody that would do that, but didn't happen. Too late. Asleep at the wheel. Arcadia Quest and Zaya are probably the two most regretted not backing projects that I had. Because Zaya looks pretty neat, and Arcadia Quest looks pretty neat too. Yeah. So now we're at some dead air here. Keep asking questions. I'll try to find. Okay, well, what have I been playing lately? We can talk about that. I just posted a review for Sentinel Tactics. I'm gonna try to. I said a lot in the review, and I'm trying to keep my mouth shut because I really like that game, and I don't like to sound overly hypey and dramatic and hyperbolic and all that stuff. But wow, I mean, it's in the running for like Game of the Year for me, honestly. And I try not to do that. I usually slip up like one game every year. I slip up and say something. A few years ago, it was A Few Acres of Snow, and then we figured out it was broken, but I still liked it anyway. And then last year it was Trains, but that got surpassed. It was still one of my favorite games. And so this one is definitely knocking on the door for Game of the Year. It's so fun. The superheroes are all different, and the abilities and things that you can do are just like, oh, this is great. Like I feel like I'm Tachyon zooming around and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, or even like Baron Blade. His stuff is really sneaky. I'm really, really having a good time with that. Preview of coming attractions. I will stop because there's a question. Did you look into the Stauffer dynasty from the Hansa Teutonica dynasty? Yeah, I kind of looked at it, but yeah, it's weird when you're filtering 400 games. It's like, okay, you kind of have to just kind of eyeball it because you kind of know. Like if you look at my list, it's pretty, I don't know, diverse, right? If you got legal, sounds like somebody jumped on. There he is. You're live, dude. Don't flip everybody off on the internet.
Hey, bud.
There he is. There he is. How's it going, sir?
Oh, just got my son. It's his 3rd birthday today, so he was up a little late and a little tired, and so then I had some last-minute homework to help my daughter with, and so
yes.
Here I am.
Good deal. So I've just been blabbing and blabbing and blabbing for 23 minutes.
Yes.
And what I have done so far is I actually went through both of our honorable mentions just to kind of fill up space. And then I talked a little bit about the results. I'll catch you up on the results. The thing that people mostly voted for you to be one of your picks was Omega Centauri. And we both got a fair amount of La Isla, but I got a ton of La Islas and Kanbans. That seemed to be the one that people thought I would pick. And the one that wasn't on either of our lists, although I think it was one of my runners-up, was Deus or Deuce. That's the
Deuce.
Yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with that one, but they picked that for you and me quite a bit as well.
I actually looked at that. I don't have enough information about it for me to make a pick on it, I guess, if you will. So it's definitely on my radar, but the stuff on my list was the stuff that I actually was really interested in. So there you go. Hey, can we talk for 5 minutes about why you're wrong about Dead of Winter?
No, I don't want to waste these people's time.
Another time, perhaps.
Yeah, we can just make that a separate episode, if at all. Because I think
right.
we've got Lance and I are like we have a group of folks that we chat with and um, you know or whatever. But yeah, so we got into arguments about. I really like Dead of Winter. I was talking about Sentinel Tactics earlier. Dead of Winter's also right up there. So we have a really good time with it. So I don't know. All I know is I will never play ever play Dead of Winter with Lance.
What? I
Never,
actually, I mean,
never play
people
that.
think I hate the game. Actually, I think I got my plays out of it, so I won't. I don't. But
There you go.
I think people that try to say that it's better than BSG, I think they're insane. So there you go.
Cuckoo.
That's just because Battlestar Galactica has been out for like 4 or 5 years, and so people are like, oh, it's like the old, and here's the new, So
Yeah,
also,
yeah, they're different. I would still play Battlestar Galactica, but that
yeah.
was already replaced by me with Dark Moon, which is coming out next year.
Well, yeah, I think Dark Moon is going to blow them all out of the water. So
Yeah, we'll see.
that's just my opinion.
hmm So let me just check chat. Yep. So let's just go through our list. Let's just jump right in there. And if you want to do, if folks want to follow along, I linked the geek list, as the last link in the video description. So if you don't see it, refresh, and then it's posted all over Twitter and stuff like that. So
I don't think I even have the link.
I sent it to you the other day, but
Well, yeah, by text. I can't really copy and paste that, can
I
I?
don't know if I can send it to you in here. I'll probably break
Well,
something.
well, I can just look it up on BGG too.
Yeah, that's like probably one of the newest because I just submitted it like 20 minutes ago. So,
Yeah, I can just
so
look at your geek lists or whatever.
oh yeah, that's right. So your number 10 was Greenland, which is also on my list. And what do you think?
Um, well, I mean, it's a Sierra Madre game. I mean, it's not that he might very well be crazy. Of course I can't think. Well, no, I mean in like the how the crazy mad scientist who just can't relate to the real world kind of a way. Just like not like I think I I can't think of his name offhand now, of course, so because I'm drawing a blank. Um, I think Eklund, that's his name. I think Phil Eklund. I think his mind works on a different level. I think. Well, first of all, I mean, I think he's just a flat out genius,
Mhm.
and so that's just one of those things. So like he made like like a simulation game for space travel, which
Right.
is great if you can somehow parse the rules, which are extremely difficult.
Right.
And then like Pax Porfiriana, that's a great game. Once again, if you can get through the rules, if so I mean, it's one of those things where whenever I get a Phil Eklund game, I feel like I'm challenged to actually figure it out, and to actually play the game. So that's what excites me. The thing about Greenland that excites me, one, I mean, I like the theme. I think it's pretty cool. The fact that it's got the 3 different tribes, it has Vikings in it, and plus it's a flat like 3-player game. I know you can play it solo and just 2-player, but I mean it's a
Right.
game that maxes out at 3 players, which is such a weird. There aren't a lot of games that max out at 3, and I always think that's kind of a neat design. So and it was like, and I think you can still pre-order it through his website, not and fairly cheap too. So
Yep.
I mean, shipped, because Phil Eklund does not go for overproduced components. He worries about the game and not so much about. So you're not buying a bunch of wood and beautiful art or anything like that. You're buying a game that he put a lot of work into and created. So there you go.
Yep. Yeah, there was a question: which Sierra Madre games have you both played? I've only tried to play Pax Perifiana and Bios Megafauna, but I don't know about you. But
I'm on BIOS Megafauna. I've played Pax Porfiriana, and I have played the mind-numbing space. God, I
High
can't think of the name.
Frontier.
Yeah,
High
High
Frontier.
Frontier. I've played.
Yeah.
I have tried to play a game or two of that, but I remember like the first time we busted that out, we started reading the rules, and we just said, okay, let's just put this away. We'll come back to this when we have like a day to play it, and then the other one that I'm like that I want to get a hold of is his pirate game that I can't. Of course, now I'm going to blank on the name.
Lords of the
Oh
Sierra
gosh,
Madre? That's
no.
not it. Pirate game.
It's Lords of the Spanish Main, which
Oh.
everybody says is amazing. But of course, it's like out of print, and you can never find it anywhere. I think I saw like a copy of it popped into print like at Boards and Bits like 3 years ago, and while I was in the process of checking out, somebody bought it out from underneath me, and I was just I was very upset about that. I've heard that's a very very good, almost abstract pirate game. So. There you go. But anyway, you're number 10, my friend.
My number 10 is Fields of Arle, which is further up your list as well.
Yep.
And it's I wasn't interested at first, but like you said, the max player count of 2 got me interested because I like that idea. I like war games and stuff like that, so I like the head-to-head, idea. And it seems kind of not really Agricola-ish, but it's sort of like a what's the other game that he came out with last year I didn't like? Glass Roads elements and Agricola elements, and it's a big heavy game. It's going to take 2 hours, and I like those big heavy 2-player games like War of the Ring and war games and stuff like that. I really enjoy that. So that was really what kind of sunk it in as I saw, oh, it's a Rosenberg farming game. Okay, again, but I'm like, oh, 2-player only. And all that stuff. So that's why it's number 10 for me, just based on that alone.
Yeah, the reason why it's higher up on mine is that the small bit of information that's out there is that I have a buddy in my Bizarro gaming group, and his name is Jim, and Jim and I end up at gaming nights by ourselves more often than not. And I thought this is definitely something he's really into, the kind of the crunchy Euros and the really difficult ones. And he really enjoys both Caverna and Agricola. And I could see him and I playing this several times when we couldn't get anybody else to show up. So that's why. And then plus, right. I mean, I'm not a huge Uwe guy. I'm just right. I do think that he's hit or miss for me. But the stuff I read about this one, I'm definitely interested in it.
Good deal. Oh, I didn't get to talk about why I'm interested in Greenland.
Oh yeah, there you go. Why are you interested in Greenland?
Yeah. Well, again, the 3-player count. I really enjoy the theme, and I really, really, really wanted to like Pax Peripheryana, and I bet if I could somehow parse the dang rules, I would really like it. But I have somebody in waiting that is going to teach me this game once I get it. So I'm like, okay, somebody can teach it to me. If it's that bad, I'll try to learn it first, of course. But I really like the themes this guy tries to tackle. And I really, really, really want to like one of Phil Eklund's games. I mean, BIOS Megafauna looks awesome. His Origins games and all that stuff look really cool. So it's almost like I wish he would just like get a developer that would just come in and say, hey, this is really cool, but to make it accessible to idiots like me, here's what you should do, and then that would be good. But so this seems to be his lightest game yet. So I'm thinking, well, if it goes a little lighter, maybe I can get in to his games like through this. This will be like a gateway game for me into some of his others. Because, like you said, everybody really likes PAX and BIOS Megafauna and some other games that they've talked about. But
well, and it does look like he's got a co-designer on this one, but the only thing that guy has made is a couple of 18xx games. So I don't know if that's a strong what's I'm looking for here. I don't know if that's a strong recommendation or not. But I mean,
right.
Maybe because those aren't really well known for their easy rules and or user friendliness either. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting. And it's just, and like I said, it's not like it's super expensive or anything. It's just it's just one of those things where it's like it's almost nice to have on your wall. Just look at that. I have that incredibly obtuse game that nobody will ever play. It's right there, and it's out of print. And so maybe somebody will offer to trade me $100 game for it at some point in the future.
Yeah, and somebody asked, there's a nice walkthrough by Michael Wisner on Fields of Arlane. Like, yep, that's why I added it to the list, because I watched that. So your number 9 is Omega Centauri? Yep. I know nothing about this game.
Well, this is on there mostly because I can't believe it's finally being published. If you ever want to read the background on this, I can't remember all the different game companies that had their hands on it at one time or another. It was Ascendancy prior to this, and Ascendancy was a game that was supposed to come out like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm trying to remember the name of the company that was supposed to put it out now, and I can't for the life of me remember. Dang it! It was called Ascendancy, and then it was called Alien Ascendancy, and then eventually it was called Omega Centauri, and it's just a 4X game. And I remember reading about it, and I was really excited to give it a try. And one of the companies that was going to publish it, they actually sold pre-orders to it, and then it vanished. Here you can go back to on Board Game Geek back in February of 2008. There's a post here that says, yes, at JKLM Games, you can now pre-order it. You can go there, and those British pounds of 30 British pounds. You get 20% off if you buy it. All pre-order copies will come with a 5th bonus race, and so, it's going to be released at Essen 2008, and everybody was just like, oh, thank goodness this is coming out. And so it's been a long, trying trip that the designer has been through to finally get this game published. I remember when Spiral Galaxy Games actually got a hold of the rights to it, 4 years ago, they were going to come out with it, and I did a couple of reviews for a couple of small games of theirs, and then the person who ran Spiral Galaxy Games actually contacted me, and they're like, oh, we're going to have Alien Ascendancy come out here, at Essen, and, would you like a copy? I was like, yeah, sure, send it to me. And I'm sure that they've long since forgotten any promise that they were going to send that to me, so that's fine, but I'm just hoping that it eventually shows up, just because I followed the development of the game for so long. I'm just excited to see, just even if the game stinks, which I don't think it will. I mean, it's a space 4X game. I love those types of games. I really just want to see it actually in existence, and actually see the game that's been out there forever.
It looks like it's kind of like a deck building game or something, but
don't you dare say that.
Wait, developed by Reiner Knizia, deck building game.
Oh,
Donald X Vaccarino. Wow. Oh
yeah.
God. No, interesting.
You're a funny man.
All right, that sounds cool. No, that's good. Thanks for the history on that. JKLM went out of business, right?
Oh yeah, they went belly up 3 or 4 years ago. I remember they were the ones that were printing. Gosh, and it was a weird story too. I mean, nobody could find out exactly what happened. It was just and they if I remember correctly, and I'm actually going to cheat, and I'm going to look it up here. They were the ones that they had. Well, I have their copy of Tinner's Trail, which is like.
Did you Tulip Mania?
Exactly, they're the ones that they did Tulip Mania, and they published that game and sold through their print run, and then never gave Scott Nicholson a single penny of royalties because they declared bankruptcy.
Right.
Yeah. So Yeah, and there was something weird that happened. It was like just completely off the wall. I mean, like it was one of those really crooked things where they were selling pre-orders to games even though they knew they were going out of business.
Mm,
Just trying to
yeah.
cash in before. Yeah, exactly. So there you go.
All right. Well, my number 9, changing the subject,
Yeah.
is Trains Rising Sun. That's the first expansion for
Oh, sorry.
Trains, a technical expansion. And so, yeah, it has a bunch of new cards, some new maps, and some new systems. Basically, you're going to get points for connecting locations on the map Ticket to Ride style. So I'm excited for that. And Trains is another one. We were talking about it before you came on. Hands of Teutonica is one that we've played to death, and I was about to trade until they announced re-releasing the first expansion map and a new expansion map. And this is another one we've played to death, and we're like, where is the expansion?
Whoa, whoa, whoa! They're re-releasing the East map for Hansa.
I'm pretty sure they are.
I've only heard the Britannica is coming out, not that they're releasing. I actually just finagled Maggie from our little group. Or Marguerite, I should say.
That's true.
She's being kind enough. She doesn't really like the game anymore. She's sending me the East map and the rule sheet. So I was like, oh, for free. You do
Cool.
like me, yeah.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, that's who we were chatting about in the chat. She was the one that brought it up. So anyway, the same with the trains. It's the same kind of thing. I need this expansion badly. It must be in my hands because we really like trains. It's the game group likes it too, but the family group really likes it. So the family group, the family group. Anyway, so yeah, so that's basically all there is to that. And your next game is a game I looked at, and it looked amazing, and that's the Lord of the Ice Garden, your number 8.
yes,
Tell us
and
about
this
it.
is well, this is a little bit of a cheat because I actually have a copy of it.
Cool.
They contacted me out of nowhere, and just said we think you would really like this game, and we really want you to take a look at this. And
So you
it's
played it?
oh yeah, I've played it a couple times now. It's area control. It's everything that I like about I don't know. It's hard to describe it without probably not really describing it well enough. I guess I've never read the books. I guess it's based on like a bunch of books that fantasy books or whatever. I'm actually thinking I gotta pick those up. I gotta check those out and see what they have. But once again, it is, kind of based in a Viking background. If anybody that's listening has read the books, if somebody could tell me if they're worth me picking up, then I'd love to. But anyway, yeah, it's basically like it's one of those Warro games. It's just like you are fighting pretty much constantly. You are worker placement and just different powers and area control, influence, and just all kinds of one of those games that you definitely do have to make tough choices. And I got a review that I've got cooking that I'm gonna put out before Essen. So if anybody's
Cool.
thinking about whether or not they want to pick this one up, that will be out relatively soon.
Well, I'll definitely check it out. I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
So our friend Maggie bought there. She said that they were both Britannia. I'm confused. I thought. Okay, never mind. I'm not sure. It's they're in chat talking about the Teutonica map. I thought I read that it'll be Britannica on one side and then the other one on the other side, but maybe I'm confused. We'll see. I guess we'll find out.
Yes.
So,
All will be revealed.
yes.
All right, tell us about your mind-numbing Euro that you're excited about.
My number 8 is La Isla, which is a Feld, and it is a light Feld, and I really like Trajan and Bora Bora and all that kind of stuff, but I'm a sucker for a light Feld. I like Rialto, I like Spikerstadt, and I think this one might be fun too, because I think those two games get overlooked because they're not all point salady, brain burning, number crunchy, even though they kind of are brain burning. So that's why I'm looking forward to it, because Feld
Is
is
it
like,
just me, or does the map look a lot like Aquasphere?
yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. If it wasn't, well, first of all, if it wasn't an Aaliyah game, I'd probably be more excited about it because Aaliyah just, I just don't like their production values. I mean, they seem to have the thinnest, most wafer thin cardboard possible, and they just seem to kind of chintz a little bit on the components. Not that, I mean, I know components aren't a big deal, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. They have gotten better, though. The
Okay.
last year or so, they have definitely gotten better. A little bit thicker, a little bit better quality. I don't know what the material is, but it's not that cardboardy material. It's more of the linen-y kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they've gotten better, whereas other companies like Mayfair have gotten way worse.
I'm yeah, totally. Oh my god. No, did you get a copy of Villainy? Did you open that up?
I don't know if Mayfair is going to send me anything ever again, but
Oh, did you upset them?
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I looked at the components for Villainy at Gen Con, and I was very disappointed, to say the least.
It was just, yeah, if I well, I don't want to badmouth everything, and I mean, I don't know. I opened it up and I was gonna play it one night, and I was just like, this is, I don't know what this is. I was
Yeah.
just
Well, it's
but
like that game Global Mogul that they came out with, which was really
oh my,
cool, economic.
it had a great idea, and I was excited to play it, and then
Yeah,
yeah, just kind of like, where did my money go on this one?
yeah,
So, but I
yeah.
don't
No,
know.
we played that a few times, and it was good. It was like kind of reminded me of Power Grid in some ways, but different.
Yeah,
But yeah, when you look at it, you're like, did I just play a prototype? What is this?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did I make a print and play with this? What did I do here?
All right, so your number 7 doesn't count according to some people because it's not really an Essen release. But I don't know that I agree or disagree with that.
Well, I mean,
That's
it's
Katie
going to be
Quest.
there. From what I understand, it's going to be there. You're going to be able to buy it.
There you go.
So
It wasn't for sale at Gen Con.
no, and yeah, supposedly it is going to be present at Gen Con in limited fashion, and people are going to be able to purchase it. So yeah, suck it. I mean, I just, this might be. I really like Rivet Wars. I think that's a great game.
That is a great game.
Chaos Ball fell completely flat for me.
Yeah.
But Slaughter Ball, check that out, man. That thing's awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, but this might be the first Cool Mini or Not game that I'm really, really excited about. I mean, like, River Wars is fun, but it's not like, just stand out. Oh my god, I throw everything away, But this Arcadia Quest, I still want to find that perfect bridge of board game and dungeon crawl, and not that Descent isn't bad, but I mean, I don't really. Descent Second Edition is okay. I love my Descent First Edition, but I've played everything for that, so now and obviously nothing is ever going to come out for that again.
Yeah.
So once again, I'm waiting for Warhammer Quest to be reprinted, but apparently Games Workshop just wants to reprint multiple editions of Space Hulk, and so I can't get Warhammer Quest, and so I'm going to hope that Arcadia is going to fulfill that need for my game shelf.
Yeah, it looks
there
good.
You go.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Oh, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And neither of us are named Rodney Smith, so we won't.
No, or rhyme with Vom Tassel, or well, did the Kickstarter people, they got their copies, right?
I think so. Yeah, they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I did think that happened, but
I think it did.
Yeah, so I mean that's why there is some trickle down information coming. My understanding is that my industry contacts have said that Cool Mini is moving towards or they're trying to move towards handling their own distribution model. That's like the theory, supposedly. So my understanding is that if you want to be able to pick up their games relatively cheap, you should probably do it soon. Because if they do actually become their own distributor, then they can kind of start picking and choosing how much their games are going to be sold for. So who knows? Just rumor mill. Who knows if it's true or not? Just it's been very.
You rumor monger.
Yeah, well, I got just meetings all day. You know how it is. It's hard to.
So somebody in chat brought up, what about Imperial Salt? And I agree. What about Imperial Salt, Mr. Meixer?
What do you want to know about Imperial Salt?
Well, will that fulfill your needs
it's
as
Star
a
Wars.
dungeon crawl? Yeah.
So no, it isn't a dungeon crawl. Will I get it? Yeah. I think the $100 price tag on it. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to pay MSRP for it. I'll get it through Cool Stuff or something. So I mean, is it worth $70? I think yes. It's I mean, can you? I mean, I know people that are already like buying up like third market D&D minis. Trying to so they can just play with painted the old D&D minis game.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll have that for the game when they play it. So there's that out there. Yeah, interesting. I mean, I think, and plus the whole fact that it's going to be like kind of a skirmish war game along with the story. So hopefully it'll come out before. Hopefully it'll be like a thing that I can ask for Christmas, and then I'll get it for Christmas.
I think it's 2015.
Well, I can dream, right? I can hope.
Yeah. Well, you got the inside track on that information. So.
Well, yeah. So actually, I got like 7 copies behind me. I've been playing like crazy, so. Yeah, they're all. It was weird. They're all addressed to Rodney, but they all came to my house by accident. I'm pretty sure. So there you go.
All right. So my number 7 is Colt Express, and I don't know how you can't love this game already.
Well, I thought it looked really, really cool, and then like I kind of like started looking into the rules and like, yeah, I mean, not that I think it'll. I mean, I don't hate Robo Rally, but I mean, just for the sheer eye candy of being able to put it on my table, I think it's something I'm definitely going to have to get. But, it's it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if it's like the rules are gonna support the way it looks that much, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, it looks like a light, programmable game where you have. Oh, what's that?
I got a cat. I said.
Jeez, there he is.
It's 9:00 or 8:30. She wants attention. So great.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea because it's programmable, but it has a little bit of sort of like you use your cards and then they're out of rotation for a while, and you're trying to outguess your opponent and outguess the little sheriff that's moving around. So it looks fun and light. I don't expect it to go into it and be really, super involved and engaged and locked in. It's kind of a fun beer and pretzel type game.
Yeah, there you go. Which is a weird game for Asmodee to put out. That doesn't sound like them really, but whatever.
Yeah. So then your number 6 is Spellcaster. Another game
you're gonna love this game.
Really?
I played this at Grand Con actually. I was hanging out with the owner and CEO of R&R Games. There you go. See, I'm so connected and amazing. But each person quickly. Basically, the way you play it is that you have like get out of here, cat. You have a hand of cards, and you can actually play 2 teams of 2 or just 1 against 1. No cards are actually like doubled up, so every card is unique in the entire deck.
Okay.
And it's a deck of I don't know how many cards. It's like 80 or 90 cards if I remember correctly. And you basically you play cards that will have lasting effects, like that have certain magic, like certain colors of magic, and then whichever way, like, if the card's facing you, then it's something that you can you can use, and then you can sometimes cards will get flipped, so then the other person takes control of the ability or whatever, and so your goal is either to I can't remember, but you either kill the other person by taking away all their health, or there's other ways you can win too with certain spells and whatever. And so then you put your spells like on top of the other ones, like you cover them up. And so it's like, okay, now so you get rid of that spell, and it's not, I'm not giving a great explanation, but it's more of the thing where it's got a great exploration for the game, like the first 2 or 3 times you play it, and then all of a sudden you start remembering which different cards and different abilities, and so you can start like maybe holding on to cards, trying to get one, pulling a card to chain with another one, and it's very fast, very quick. You can play it in about 15 minutes, and it's just really
Cool.
it's a amazing game. I think people are gonna go crazy for it, honestly. So yeah, check that one out if you haven't heard anything about it.
Okay, yeah, I'll dig into that one.
That'll be your new lunchtime game. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay, I'll take it. My next one is Kanban. That's my number 6, and this is based solely on the the designer. Honestly, Vinos I love, and CO2 I love, and this one's been getting a lot of buzz from some of the folks who have been playtesting over the last. I mean, this game is one of those like Omega Centauri where I don't know. I expected this to come out like 2 years ago or 3 years ago even at Essen. I think it was kind of bouncing from publisher to publisher and probably going through some development cycles, I would expect. And Vital's had a couple of decent hits, with CO2 and Vinos, and so he's probably got a little bit more street cred, as it were, to get his games moved along. And I really like it, and funnily enough, I mean, another Stronghold game, I've been playing Panamax, and really am liking that. And it's kind of another one of those kind of logistical games that seems like, oh, it's a game that it's kind of like work, And, sometimes I like those kind of games. So this seems right along with that, and it's a good investigation of that sort of methodology and process of mass manufacturing, all that kind of cool stuff. So that's why it's up there. And, like I said, I'm a big fan of the designer.
Yep, Vital's made 2 great games prior to this one, and they'll, and I'm pretty sure this one will be amazing as well. This should have been on my honorable mentions, honestly. I think I just totally forgot about it, just basically because like I talked about it with Steven so many times that it just kind of it wasn't. Stephen Bonacore, you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, I was catching a name you dropped there.
Yeah. I should have like a little bell whenever I drop a name. I can go ding, drop another name. Yeah. No, so I mean, I just kind of heard so much about it. Maybe it's just too much knowledge. Said it wasn't like new to me, or I wasn't excited about it for that reason. I don't know.
Right. So. No, I know what you're saying. We were talking about that earlier. I was like, what was the one? Mythotopia. Like I pre-ordered that, and I was like, well, okay, it's already on the way, so I'm not really looking forward to it, But
oh, I mean, yeah. Did you do that through like Cool Stuff or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that. I don't know. I pre-ordered the other one.
Onward,
which we'll talk about here in just a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, Mythotopia, this looks cool. Let's see what it says. Mythotopia is a deck building game. Oh, just like, just like you could feel the air leave the room as soon as I read deck building. So, but whatever. All right, on to my next game, number 5, Ars Alchemia. Have you heard anything about this? Have you seen this?
Nope.
You know about this? Okay. The only reason I know anything about this is because a publisher is going to be. I don't know. I probably should have asked if I can say anything. Well, dang it.
A
Okay.
publisher may or may not be.
No, a publisher will be
Okay.
publishing this in the United States. It will go into Kickstarter. I don't know exactly when. I think next month or so. And I have a copy, and so I've played it with my buddies. And it's just if you like, it's one of those wonderful like aha, like games where you're like you figure out how to use your workers it just kind of perfectly to like maximize a turn, and so you have that kind of like exciting each turn you're like figuring out what you want to do. The big thing is that when you take your actions in this one, the like when you first use the action and you're the first person to put your worker down, you get like the best return. But then the next time somebody wants to use it, you're not blocking it. But what they do is they have to you have to exceed the number of workers that are already there, and that so it's like you all of a sudden now there's 3 workers there. Well, I got to put 4 if I want to actually use that spot. Is it worth for me to put 4? And so it has those wonderful tough decisions where it's like you're trying to maximize and whether would my workers work better at someplace else, kind of thing. And I was actually
I've watched the video. Totally, yeah. Oh, yes, I know which publisher is talking. Looking at this one. Yeah. Okay. No. Do they rhyme with? Is there a 3-letter acronym for their name?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's all I want to know. Yeah, this looks cool. I
maybe
can't remember what they're doing. I was talking to Mr. So-and-so about this, yeah. I knew when he started explaining the mechanics, I'm like, this sounds weird. I've heard about this. And yeah, it's sort of like you area control worker placement. You're like committing more workers to different areas. Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. Everybody should take a look at that. I think that looks cool, too. I've totally forgotten because it's a lot of those kind of anime names kind of blend together for me. Anyway.
Well, and then people are going to say, oh, it's anime and it's alchemy, so it's Full Metal Alchemist, which isn't a horrible anime, mind you, but no, it isn't. So just erase that from your mind as far as that goes. So
yeah. Okay, so sorry to sidetrack you there. So my number 5 is Greenland, which we already talked about, and then your number 4 is Onward to Venus, which is a really cool theme.
And this one, there's not a ton of information out there. What I have read, it sounds, and this is maybe I might be completely wrong. Well, first of all, the theme is just freaking awesome. It's just like exploitation of the solar system. You gotta run around and fight the natives and whatever. And it's just the whole thing of like you're claiming tiles and then get cards and then all these different like weird things you can do that earn you different points or money or whatever, and the fact that you can actually like inhibit other people by kind of attacking them or anything like that. I mean, what's weird with Martin Wallace games is that they almost they seem to almost be the same in a certain way, because it's always like, oh, you can do all this, but if you do too much of that, then you're going to get a diminishing return on it, and then bad things are going to happen, which is one of the reasons why I like London so much. It's just that weird pollution aspect, and that's like that might be one of my favorite games from Wallace, and this one sounds very London-y to me, honestly. I mean, just what I've read. And
I love London too.
So, it's just like the whole thing, and like so I'm interested, and like I said, it looks, the theme is amazing. Just, I mean, who cares if it's pasted on? I'm pretty sure it could have been almost anything, but I think it'll be a lot of fun, and the game looks really cool. So there you go.
Cool. So it's for pre-order.
Yeah.
Nobody go to Cool Stuff now. Wait, everybody wait. Give me 5 minutes. Nobody's allowed. Lance, dance naked. Distract them.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Blindness reported across the country.
Right. Yeah, you said the magic word, London. Click. All right. Yeah. All right, so that was your number 4. My number 4 is, I probably shouldn't put this on the list because I will probably never get it. But maybe you can talk to our mutual friend who's publishing Ars Alchemia and see if he wants to publish this. This is called The Ravens of Three Sahasri, and it's a two-player game. It's going to be published in Japan. I think they're going to release a couple hundred copies max at Essen. And I hesitate to say this, but if anybody has an extra copy they want to pick up, maybe pick it up, and I will send you money for it. But it's a two-player game, and it's kind of Hanabi-ish, but the theme of it is one player has lost their memory, and the other is trying to help them recover their memory. And that, to me, just kind of blows my mind a little bit. And I really like Hanabi anyway. So that's pretty much it. That's all I know about the game. And I'm really interested in this. And just a small anecdote, years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago, we played a game, we play tested a game that somebody had developed several miles away, but they were kind of local to us. And the theme of it was weird, but it was like all of us adventurers were in a dungeon, and we had been knocked out, and we all had amnesia. And so it was kind of part dungeon crawl, but not really. It was more Euro than that, and also part like trying to figure out and remember who you were. So you had to like kind of figure out what class you were and what your abilities were and stuff. And the person to your right like knew what you were, and you knew what the person to your left was and stuff. But ever since that day, like the game was awful, and I hate to say it because it was definitely like in development, so I couldn't really call it awful. But you could see some merit in some of the different mechanics and things, and this whole idea of like, somebody losing their memory and getting their memory back is always, I'm like, this is a great idea for a game. And so this kind of like just totally hit that bell for me. So anyway, that's the Ravens of Three Sahasri, which is very hard to say.
It sounds neat, but yeah, like why? Well, then again, that is Essen's thing. Here's my little, here's my game that I have 200 copies of. Please, somebody love it and offer to, print out more, and so I can make more money. It's like. That's which is why I so want to go to Essen someday.
Cool. Oh, so Maggie says, sorry, I was just checking chat, and Maggie, did you just say that the Ravens has a deal? So I'll let her answer that. So that's cool if that's the case. I won't worry too much about it.
What is it? It has a deal to be like published more or something?
Yeah, in the U.S. So, she said she thought. Okay, Maggie knows everything.
She is. She's so cool. And yeah. she's my Essen mule. She's bringing me back stuff. So, thank you, Maggie.
Okay. So anyway, hopefully that's the truth. And there you go.
There you go.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, I was going to riff on your whole thing about hey, I'll bring my small little game and publish it at Essen. Ignacy Trevicek posted a blog. It's probably the #1 thumb blog right now on Board Game Geek if people want to go check it out. He compared like Essen versus Gen Con. And he kind of broke it down in these different categories where, which one is better than the other and like in which category, kind of, kept score as he went through. And that was the one thing to me that Essen still has over Gen Con is this whole thing of, hey, I'll show up, I'll have my little game, and I'll be able to get some copies out there and get a publisher. Now, Gen Con kind of has that. They've got what they call Entrepreneurs Row and things. And there's a lot of small games that come out there, usually backed by a Kickstarter or something. But this is like, people from all over the world, from Japan and all these different places in the East and different things, coming to Essen to do that. So I think Essen still, for that one aspect, beats Gen Con, but I think Gen Con beats it and everything else. So, plus I'm selfish. I want everybody to come here so I can get there.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Whole totally selfish agenda I'm pushing. So the Lance's #3 is Dragon Scroll, and I'm a
Lamont Brothers fan.
That's right.
Plus, the thing is, if I don't like the game, I can always just sell it for 3 times what I paid for it. 6 months down the road. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's like if you ever like wanted to get a game that's a work of art, and you're worried about it not being good, somebody is going to would pay you a ton of money for it anyway. So I mean, it's like you put your $70 down and then you just wait patiently, and it's if you love it, great, keep it. I mean, I have, gosh, I have 3 or 4 of their games, and and they're really, I really like their games, but it's definitely one of those things where it's like you never know anything about it, honestly, until you. Yeah.
Are they going to be on the live feed for Board Game Geek? Do you know? Because they usually show up on there, and they're always fun to watch on there, and they usually give a pretty good demo of the game on there as well. I don't know if you know that or not, but they might. They probably are.
You got me, but
Okay.
So then that's. But yeah, so I always I really liked Poseidon's Kingdom. I thought that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
The one with was it last year with all the little trolls and everything like that? That wasn't as good as
Sword or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't. It was their attempt at a co-op, and it just didn't work really well, in my opinion.
Right.
So but. They overproduce the heck out of their games, and I think they're totally just one of those guys are just like, oh well, let's just go ahead and let's see what other crazy stuff we can make this time, and they throw it together. And I'm always glad when I get it, because then I know I have it, and I don't have to worry about picking them up in second or third market.
There you go. Enough for me, Lance.
There you go.
My number 3 is kind of for the same reasons as you have Dragon Scrolls. Your number 3 is Medina. Gorgeous components. It's just been kind of one of my Grail games, for a little while, and just never, had an inclination to shell out money or trade away the farm for it. And it's kind of a little bit more abstract than I normally like, but I've watched some videos on this years ago and all that stuff, and it looks like a really interesting, fun game, and once you're done building your little city, it looks awesome. So I don't know if people are familiar with this, but there's big, chunky pieces, and you kind of build up your own little neighborhoods and stuff, but you got to be real careful not to set up other people to build off of your buildings and score points in that way. It kind of reminds me of Milestones. Folks remember that game, where it's kind of like you build a little route to try to get to the score spot, but you don't want to build too far, because then they're going to just piggyback on what you've done. I like stuff like that in games.
A game that did not get enough credit, in my opinion.
Yeah, but now it's coming back.
It is.
The pictures I've seen actually probably looks better than the original edition. So, I'm excited for this.
Is Stronghold doing that again?
Yeah, the Stronghold and White Goblin, I think, in Europe is doing it.
They're gonna do Milestones again, huh?
Oh, Milestones. Oh, you're talking about Milestones. I thought you were talking about Medina. No. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Milestones was kind of. Yeah, has a hard time finding a foothold is that medium 1 hour Euro. It's just they come and go.
Yeah.
They're cool, and you're like, oh, that was nice, and then, the game's not bad. It's just it just kind of passes through.
Well, what about Five Tribes? Everybody's going crazy about that, and that's average at best.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We played it, and the first time I played it, I was like, this is neat, moving the guys around and stuff, but then played it twice more since then, and it's getting less fun each time. I'm like, no, please stay fun.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's getting worse. I'm like, no, don't play it.
The best thing about that is the very first thing you do when you put your bid in for what you think it's worth to go first.
Yeah.
On that turn. That's the best decision of the game right there.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And then it's all downhill from that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
After that, then staring at the board for 5, 6, 7 minutes trying to figure out the best combination to get points.
Well, here's the thing: is I've actually played that with my gamer group and my family, and I would much rather play with the family, because we're just oh, you kind of just do whatever, and it's fun, and oh, look at that little combo I pulled off, and that takes less than an hour, right?
Yeah.
And play with the gamer group is an hour and a half, and you're like, come on, Just do something.
If it's a choice between 17 points or 15, just come on, just pick one. Oh, hold on, I might want a new. I might want to get another genie. Hold on, just jeez,
Right.
come on. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, so that's Medina. That's my number 3, and your number 2, which we kind of talked about already, was Fields of Arle.
We don't have to do that. So what's this illegal stuff that you want to talk about?
Illegal looks like
is that your girlfriend or what's going on here?
It kind of looks like what's that game? Sheriff of Nottingham, where you have a game master, and then he's going to give each player like a deck of cards. I'm hesitating on this, and then you got to go and then like you leave the table, and then you come back and then you try to like split up the deck, and it's like all timed, like it's 3 minutes a round or something like that, and then you return to the table, and then it's like you're building up a case, and so you have different roles and things, and like people are judges and jury members and all kinds of crazy stuff, and so I don't know, boom, I'm in. And it only takes like a half hour or so to play a round of it. So I'm just going based on that because I'm, with my group, we're big fans of Sheriff of Nottingham. We're big fans of One Night Werewolf. Huge fans. We play it like every single week, at least a couple of times. And and I mean this is like going on months now. It's just like we cannot stop playing One Night Werewolf. So.
You back the Kickstarter?
Oh, instantly! Like. I mean, honestly, I overpaid because I bought the stupid mat. Like you're paying MSRP. It's like I could wait for it to come out of Cool Stuff or whatever. But I was like, screw it. We love this game, and I mean, my one friend's copy is worn down. Like he has to get another. He backed it, and he backs it for another copy of the base game plus the mat and everything because his copy is so worn out.
No, nice.
Yeah. So. Illegal seems to kind of fit in that vein. So,
but a GM, I mean, that guy's got to be like, oh, great, I get to tell you what to do. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. You might be right about that, but I think you can kind of rotate that around and stuff. And we find, I mean, even with One Night, we've kind of gotten into the habit of one person kind of watching and stuff sometimes because it's sometimes more fun to watch One Night than it is to play it because you know what's going on. You can see people BSing each other and stuff.
Yeah. I got you.
So, anyway, that's my number 2. So your number 1, which Jerome is in chat with, and so he's watching now. He's the winner, and he's got a choice between Assault on Doomrock, which is your number 1, and my number 1. So I watched.
And you picked an expansion. Way to go, Joel. That's awesome.
What?
That's not a game. It's an expansion.
It's a game. I don't like this no expansion rule.
Go ahead.
No, you first. I just got done talking. Assault on Doomrock.
No. I'm gonna let the person that's going to talk about about a not a full game go first, and then we'll get to me.
Oh, so you can have the last word. I understand. All right.
Yeah, totally.
So anyway, Classic Culture Civilizations is my number 1. Classic Cultures is slowly climbing up my list of favorite games. I don't remember where I put it in my favorite games of last year. I hadn't really played it enough, I think, to have put it that high. But we played it a few more times this year and really enjoy it. Have a lot of fun with it. And so I'm so many things. Now, I added this as my number 1 before Mr. Markson, the designer, posted his video today. I think he posted it. And he posted a video kind of breaking down all of the stuff. So you go to the Classic Culture Civilization page on Board Game Geek. There's a post by the designer, a video, it's like 4 minutes long, and he goes over all the new stuff. I mean, I'm even more excited about it. If I could make this number 0, I would make it number 0. I tell you what, since Lance called me out live on the internet, if I'm going to sweeten the deal here, I'm going to try to get Jerome to pick mine. And Lance, this will come out of my pocket. I know we're going to split this, but if Jerome picks this expansion, I'll throw in a copy of Clash of Cultures with it. And then...
apparently I have native money.
I'm saying you don't have to contribute. You can just pay for half of the expansion. And then if Jerome decides to pick, Assault on Doomrock, then, we'll all split with you. But Anyway, so I'm really excited. It's got pirates. It's got some new buildings. It's got a bunch of new objectives. It's got like 42 different leaders and 14 civilizations. Everybody has like little starting tech that they can do in addition to their main tech board. Anyway, so I'm all about this game. I really enjoy it, and I hope one day magically they will release a 5 and 6 player expansion. But I'm not holding my breath. So there you go. There's the deal. And what's this Assault on Doomrock thing?
Well, I'm sure you've watched Rado's video, right? Yeah.
I did a long time ago, but yes.
Well, he did another one because they actually had like the game had like a completed look to it or something.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. So he did another one. It looks like a very once again, it's my hope. This isn't really dungeon crawly because there's no like tiles or anything like that. But you still have your fantasy character, and you have like some debilitating problem or whatever, and like you will have abilities and powers, and you have to avoid. You have these it's all about Doom. You can do one of 4 things of Doom, and so it's very whimsical, if you will. And Rado's Richards whatever. His video kind of sold me on it, but more importantly, I think this is a game I'll play with my daughter. I think she'll really like it, and for that reason alone is why I'm kind of excited about it. And plus, the designer actually did contact me and asked me if I'd be interested in grabbing a copy, and I said, well, duh, yeah. And that's when I actually heard about it, and I started looking into it. And I showed it to my daughter, Rylan, and she thought the artwork was hilarious. She likes zombies, and she thought the zombie on the front cover holding the brain was quite funny. And
Cool.
so I'm looking forward to getting it, and so that maybe she and I can sit down and goof around with it and have a good time. So there you go.
All right. That sounds fun. I'll check it out. So Jerome just picked Clash of Cultures, so boom! Sorry.
Well, I know accounting for taste. Well, I guess I'll pay the $10 or whatever for the the expansion or whatever. Yeah. So,
okay.
Thank you for saving me money, Jerome. I appreciate that a great deal.
So yeah, okay, good. So there's our list, and wasn't a whole lot of questions in chat. People just commenting on different things. So thanks, Lance.
No, that's fine, man. I apologize for not getting in sooner, but
No, that's fine.
My son, I can hear him yelling upstairs. I'm pretty sure he's upset about having to go to bed. What is it about kids and everyone go to sleep when we get older? God, all I want to do is sleep.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there.
Just gotta stay up.
Might have grown out of it. I still struggle with the almost 20-year-old out of the house, but the 13-year-old, he still drags his feet a little bit. But.
Yeah. No. And the other good thing I heard actually that made me happy was I heard that they're actually GMT is going to finally reprint the coin games that I don't have. Because I don't have a Distant Plane and I don't have Cuba. So
you gotta get Cuba Libre. That's
what everybody says.
Yeah, I've been playing Fire in the Lake on Vassal. Still kind of figuring that one out, but it's really good too, I think. And but Cuba Libre, that's the one, because that's the one you actually will play. The others are oh yeah.
I really liked Andy and Abyss though. So I mean, is there something wrong with me then?
You didn't like it, or you did?
No, I did.
Yeah, no, I think they're all good. Majority of my plays have been on Vassal though. That's what I'm saying, is it's hard to get a game of the other ones played in person. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Cuba's really easy to get played, or relatively easy, I meant to say.
I still say that you, me, and Marco need to play a game of Here I Stand by mail or by email or something someday.
I used to have that game, and I tried to get through those rules, and it was just, that is by far the hardest game I've ever tried to learn. I mean,
you haven't read the High Frontier rules then.
Well, that to me I think is bad rules, because I I have friends in my game group that have tried to play it, and they said there's kind of issues with the rulebook. So that I throw out like files to make fun of stuff where I had trouble with the rules because I think here I stand like I was understanding it, but I was like, what? This
Yeah.
is insane. So, but yeah.
Someday. With my Lutheran heritage, I think I owe it to myself.
Oh.
I have to play it once in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Just other than that, anything new in your world, man?
No, yeah. We've got a few minutes here to chat. I just reviewed Sentinel Tactics. That game is friggin' amazing. You already know that, though, right?
Yeah, because I had a copy a long time ago.
Uh-huh. Yep. I'm in love with that game. Honestly.
It's just fun. It's just it finally you're finally able to actually play as a superhero in a superhero world. It reminded me actually of playing the old Marvel superheroes role-playing game way back in the day. If you ever played that, which was very tactical, combat based. It was a miniatures game without miniatures. Was that what that game was? Because you just had Spider-Man, jumps into the same spot as, the Lizard, and he roll on his fighting, and if his fighting is successful, then you hit, and then you look at how much damage he does, and does the Lizard have any armor? Yes, minus this, do that, and that's what the Marvel Superheroes role-playing game was, and technically there was like puzzles or something that you had to figure out at some point as well, but it was all about moving your guys on a map and fighting villains, and so with Sentinel Tactics, it's kind of like that, but with it's more focused and has a good rule set, but a very simple rule set as well. So
yeah, I mean, amazing. I mean, to me, the whole what is the Schlock Mercenary rule set or something where you roll and it's crazy because it's not just like a bullet or a blast. I mean, there's different styles of elemental combat and crazy stuff, and that dice system somehow works. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, and pretty streamlined. So.
Yeah, and then it's so weird that the system. Here you have a rule system for a game Schlock Mercenary, which did nothing, which was a fun game, but the thing was it didn't have sentinels behind it. So.
Yeah, right.
And the rules were refined a little bit because I've played Schlock, and which was like I said, a good game.
Yeah.
But it needed the theme to back it up.
Right. What about you? What you got a recent standout?
Well, no, but I am going to take a moment to talk about Extra Life Charity.
Oh, please do.
Who's listening? Oh yeah. So I mean, if you hadn't noticed, I am running I'm not running it. My local game store is running a gaming marathon on October 18th from 10 a.m. till 10 a.m. I will be there with my gaming group. We are going to play Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to play board games. We're going to eat pizza and what have you. But the whole point of doing it and getting people in there, and because it's all about getting people from come in and pay money to play games. Normally, you don't have to pay money. It's all going to children's hospitals. October is Extra Life. It goes and. If you go to the Extra Life charity, it's one of those awesome things where all the money does go to children's hospitals. It's not something where you can count on, where you have to wonder where the money's going. Every single penny will go to help out kids. If you want to go there and you want to type in my name, Lance Meixter, Mixter, you can check out my page and check out my little video I did there because I'm a big fan of children's hospitals because they pretty much saved my daughter's life when she was born. So anything I can give back because of the fact that I got my little best friend with me for, presumably the rest of my life at least. So yeah, it's so I mean, and most areas have their own thing going on too. So if you have a local game store, I mean, check them out, see if they're doing something, and get out there and support them in some way. It's a big deal, and hey, it's for kids. So and it's playing games. How awesome is that? So it isn't like I gotta go run a marathon or anything. I just get to go and play board games for 24 hours and drink 8 2-liters of soda.
Jeez. Well, good.
Oh, and I'm going to try to do a live feed too. I don't know how it's going to work. We got to figure out if the Wi-Fi will support it and everything in there. But so more, I'll. Oh, and also I met my goal, so I actually have to reveal the mystery of the gefilte fish, which I'm gonna have to. I have to do that video here. Maybe we'll do it tonight. So if you wondered about the jar of gefilte fish on my behind me on my board game shelf, I will reveal that very shortly.
Good deal. Alrighty. Well, I frankly have to get going. Unfortunately.
So do I, my friend. I have to. I've got a big day tomorrow. It's my wedding anniversary tomorrow, so I need to.
Oh, watch out.
There you go. So yeah, my son's birthday today and my anniversary tomorrow. We worked that out somehow perfectly. And then my sister's birthday on the 9th. So it's weird.
Crazy.
789, just like that. But yeah. So I'm gonna go to bed and let's see. And yeah, sorry I didn't get on right away. So.
No, perfectly fine. Hopefully I did. I noticed that when you join, more people start watching, so that's good.
Oh, I bring the funny.
Yeah, you bring the rock.
There you go. All right, I'll drop the microphone. So there you go.
Okay.
All right, well,
Okay,
Joel, always a pleasure, and we'll talk soon, my man.
Okay, thanks everybody. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.